here on TikTok. We'll see. Welcome, everybody. Welcome on TikTok. How are you? If you guys could give me a thumbs up, let me know that you can hear me and see me all right. It would be greatly appreciated. Before I go ahead and get started, welcome everyone on YouTube and Facebook. If you guys could do the same, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you can hear me and see me all right before I go ahead and get started. It would be greatly appreciated. I am on the road. I'm currently in Georgia. And so this is a whatever type of setup for me, whatever I could pull together. And so we are running a couple minutes late. Thank you so much for being patient. Because we are running a couple minutes late, we're going to go ahead and jump right into your questions here in a second. So I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Arawak. I own a school called the Ivy League Psychic Academy, where I train people internationally in everything, ranging from psychic mediumship development to Reiki, tarot, astrology, numerology, you name it, we do it. We train children as well as adults. So if you want to look at classes, go to ivyleaguepsychicacademy.com. If you want to book a reading or a party with me, go to Ivy Rivera, psychicmedium.com. You guys do not need to contact me directly because there's a self-booking system right up on my website. Now, tonight's show is called Get a Grip. This is on your money, career, and investments. I work with a lot of clients who deal with big money, big moves, and this is a lifesaver for them. Okay, so if you are thinking of making a big change with your finances, if you're looking at some different types of investments, if you're thinking of a big career move and you want to know whether this is going to be prosperous for you, you're going to want to post that question to me here in the comment section. $5 gets you the short answer, $10 gets you the long answer. You can purchase your questions through PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. That should be up in the description box above or below, depending on where you're tuning in. On YouTube, you can do it all here in one spot. Okay, so if you're on YouTube at Ask Ivy, you can make your payment and submit your question right there. We do ask that you keep your questions to 25 words or less. I don't need your whole life story. I just need the basic details of the question itself. That should include names of whoever you're referring to, like first name is fine. But also if you're asking about like two houses, you're in a debate about two different investments, you know, something like that. The number of the house or the name of the company, the name of the investment, that will also help for me to get right to the heart of the information and move on to your neighbor faster. All right. So again, this is Get a Grip on your money, career, and investments. Any kind of question goes here. Go ahead and post them now. Mary, my beautiful producer, will be popping your questions up as they come in. Mary, do you want to put the first one up? All right. So we are going to start here with a Nicole B asks a $10 question. Nicole wants to know, I started an NFP that is set to open this summer. It's something I've wanted to do most of my life. How do you see everything coming together, being received by the public? Okay, and the longevity of it. Thank you. Okay, let's go back to her original question. All right, very good. So she wants to know, how's it going to, how do I see it coming together? How's it going to be received by the public? Okay, longevity and the public. I feel good about this. I actually feel that you could have done this maybe a year ago. I feel that approximately 3 years ago, you were getting really serious about this. And so when you say that, you know, you've been waiting a really long time, I think that what you did was you waited until the right time. We don't want to wait so long that an opportunity is starting to decline in prosperity. We want to be in divine timing. We want to be in alignment with the universe when we're supposed to. I don't think that you exceeded that time frame. I think if you would have gotten a little bit of an earlier start, you would have hit some stress points that you're going to avoid now. All right, so holding off, I think, was wise. Now, what I'm feeling with this is that a few different, it's almost like groups of people, okay? It's like a few different hands I see coming at you. When I see that happening over here in front of me, what that's going to mean is that there's a free will zone. And people who are taking action from a free will zone could change their actions at any time, but I think in this case, it's highly unlikely. So when we see 4 different groups of people or, 4 different major opportunities coming at you, these hands grabbing mean essentially that you have what they want, you have something to offer, you're going to be able to comply. I think that the idea of it coming to you instead of you having to push really hard to get it out there is also key. So what we want to see when we're dealing with money, we're dealing with our investments, we're dealing with resources in general, we want to see it coming to us. I think it's a good time for you to think of yourself almost like a queen sitting on her throne. I don't go after it. I don't ask for it. I don't reach out. I simply sit here and present what I have to offer, and it will come to me. This is a way of manifestation through law of attraction in claiming, perfecting the art of that. So I see it going well as far as, the public is concerned. I also feel like you may have 2 other opportunities branching off of this in approximately 6 months. Now, that does not come up in the free will zone. That comes up in your destiny charted zone. So that is a guarantee that I can say is going to happen. 2 different networking opportunities. One that may be asking for like you to sign, meaning something like a contract. Dot your I's, cross your T's, be mindful. But yes, I feel that you could go for this. And this would be good for you in the long run, leading even to other things. As far as longevity is concerned, I feel positive about that as well. I do feel you making some significant shifts at about 2 years out from now and 4 years out from now. But those will be up to you to do. All right, good luck with everything. Thank you so much for that question. We're going to move on to another question from Alisa K. This is a $10 question. Okay, so she wants to know, I'm at a career crossroads. Number 1, transition into a higher level leadership role. Number 2, stay in my current position and add on to that with a new independent side venture. Both have pluses and minuses in different ways. This is a big decision. Please shed some light if you can. Thank you. Okay, let's go back to her original question. So the original question is, all right, should Lisa be transitioning into a higher level leadership role? I heard no. Okay, or should she stay in the current position and add on new independent side venture? Okay, so we're going to go out of these 2 options for you. We're going to want to go with number 2. The thing is, it's not about staying in your current position for too long, okay? It's almost like if you were to go into a higher up position, okay, your first option, you would be so bombarded and burdened by that you couldn't really evolve into what you were actually meant to do. That would be a huge problem and really unfortunate, especially because in about 2 years out from now, you're due for a huge level up. This would match your numerology chart, your Vedic or Western astrology, your life contract, okay? Get a life contract with me at any time. 2 years in from now, you are going to be leveling up in a huge way. You have to be available to do that. And so if you were to take this position, you're going to be locked down. All that glitters is not gold. That's a good way to look at this. Now, with option number 2, staying in your current position, it's just important that you are constantly looking at your current position as though it is something you're going to shed. You are supposed to be working on your side hustle, on this business launch, your entrepreneurship, okay? And your communication, especially with the public, as your main focus, because that will eventually be able to take over and sort of bump your day-to-day job out. Now, I'm not saying jump the ship too early, but at around 1.5 years from now, going into about 1 year and 7 months, you're going to really start to feel that change. So you may start to feel very intensely that it's time to just focus on your side hustle, on your business. You may start feeling the pressure, like it's demanding too much, like you can't be split between these 2 things anymore. If you feel you're reaching that breaking point, really be sure to ask your work and money guide, how much longer do I stay with this, okay? You'll know when to make the jump. Sometimes you have to make the jump in a little bit of blind faith and your finances aren't exactly where you want them to be yet, but you know they're going to get there. And I think that would be very an honest approach at that time. I also think that when the communication comes up for you, it's really important that you focus on like advertising through social media, any kind of lives that you could be doing, okay? Any way that you really speak to the public in a significant way, taking questions even, something similar to what I'm doing right now. Make people know who you are, help to connect them to the product through you, and things will go a lot faster and easier. Definitely a lot faster. I like it a lot. Good luck. Congratulations. We are going to take another question. We have one from an Edgar. This is a $10 question, and he wants to know, could I please get a career and money prediction for this year? Okay, so what do we have for Edgar 2023? It's kind of weird. It almost seems like your money's going up, and then it holds, dips, but not because you have a loss, more like because you make an investment. Then we creep our way back up, and then I don't want to say plateau, but we're steady for a while. We're kind of recouping, then up two levels. That's a lot to happen in a year, and I think we actually exceeded the year mark. So I think we're looking more into halfway into 2024 for that last bit. But let's break this down one thing at a time. So what you may feel that you're doing is sort of peaking with your finances here for a while. I want to say the next 3 months. Then you may find that you have an opportunity to invest your money significantly. Okay, invest your resources in something. And I think that you should, but it can, like with anything, right? You get what you pay for. If you want more, you have to invest more. Put your money where your mouth is. So if you are willing to do that, what you're going to see is sort of a slow and steady climb in the upward direction for approximately 8 months. Then at about the 9th month out from there, you start to stabilize. Okay, so it's just sort of the same. I want to say that you do that for maybe 4 months, and then you're going to have 2 levels up. These 2 levels up with your finances, again, going into 2024, are going to be the big ones, because they bring with them other opportunities. It's not just the financial aspect. It's networking, it's partnership, it's other work opportunities. It even brings like travel, relocation, which can mean relocation. It can also mean relocation of your position. So when we start to talk about our work, our career, and mobility, then we're talking big cash, okay? When you can take what you do and do it from anywhere, then you're cooking with gas, right? So that's where we want to see you. And the only way, I think what's important for you to understand is that you have to be willing to take those ebbs and flows. You have to be willing to take those dips, in addition to your upward mobility in order to get there. So don't think in terms, and this is really for everybody, but don't think in terms of like there has to be constant growth upward. That's the only way that I'm actually achieving my goals. No, that's not how the universe works. So you're having all kinds of opportunities that could very well be connected to bigger opportunities, but they require some investment. They require some willingness, to take a deduction sometimes. So with this, you seem to be a little rattled, but I think that you're in a power position. I think that you know where you're headed, and I think that you know to trust your gut and divine timing when you should. These changes that you'll be making also with the dips or the investments, let's say, 2 different areas, they bring you a lot of happiness. They bring you a lot of joy. And when you notice that your joy is increasing, your peace is increasing, your energy level is increasing, right? Everything else will bring that type of vibration with it. I think that by the end of 2024, going into 2025, you're going to feel very secure and understand the trajectory going forward. All right, so 2023, you're still working on it a bit, but it looks real good. All right, we're going to move on to another question here from a hunter. This is a $10 question, and he wants to know, which skills do I need to work with to change my financial situation for the better? Which skills does Hunter need to work with to change his financial situation for the better? Your communication and your organization. Organization coming from some past life experiences where you may have been limited. You may have been under some type of restraint, constriction, possibly even a prison-like system at one point, at some point, a military system, like being trapped in like a war circumstance. But at another time, it wasn't any of that as much as it was like financial and mental. Okay. So I think one of the things you need to break the curse of is carrying on generational poverty mentality. And I think that the more you're releasing that mentality of lack and you're replacing that with visions, manifestations, words, even that you say, I would say it every day. I would say it in the morning. I would say it at night, at the very least, affirmations, okay, of what it is that you are claiming to you, of what it is that you are achieving. Act as though you already have it, okay? Overabundance is coming to me. The more you can replace that poverty mentality that was handed down by your family in your past lives, and you can replace it with a wealth mentality, that's going to help that area. Communication is another big area for you. So one of the things that you tend to notice, okay, is that yes, you have the organizational skills naturally. You know, yes, you are sometimes really good at understanding specifically, okay, Spirit's always also talking about with organization, know specifically what it is that you want, not like a whatever, okay, or I hope something in this ballpark. You know, if you want something specific, that's what the universe is going to give you. If you say whatever, you're going to get whatever, okay, if even. So get organized about that. But I think that even though you know, sometimes you are dead set on something, you have a tendency to get sheepish when it comes to communication. And I think that you know that for your greatest success in life, it's going to require quite a lot of communication skills, quite a lot of leadership, you know, quite a lot of ability to train other people or sell a ketchup popsicle to a lady in white gloves. You know, you got to be able to finesse things. You got to be able to be comfortable getting out there and talking about it. And while you don't want to look at that too much because it can be overwhelming, you definitely want to be very mindful in the moment that you are present when you're dealing with anyone in communication. And that's a good place for you to start now. Don't worry too much about the future. Just make sure that every time you're having a communication with anybody, I don't care if this is somebody in line at the grocery store, or I don't care if this is a family member, this is a lover, this is part of work and money making for you, okay? You need to be more present. You need to make better eye contact. You need to be upright. You need to be an active listener, and you need to start figuring out what that will look like when you're on a larger platform, a larger stage, dealing with the masses on a bigger level, dealing with money, getting them to give you big amounts of money, okay? Because it's going to happen, and all you need is that confidence to say, I'll take it. I'll grow this for you. Trust me, all right? Because they will. All right, we're going to move on to another question I did want to say real quick. For anybody tuning in late, I forgot to ask everybody to please give this video a thumbs up. If you are here on YouTube and you want to become a member, hit that join button to look at the 3 different tiers of memberships. And if everybody could drop a comment right now, because it helps me out in the algorithm wherever you're tuning in. I am taking your money, career, investment questions. $5 gets you the short answer, $10 gets you the longer answer, and you can purchase those above or below wherever the description box is. All right, we're going to move on to a Catherine Yee. This is a $10 question, and she wants to know, will I thrive in my new workplace, or will it be toxic like my previous workplace? I mean, it feels a little toxic, but I don't really think that you're ever going to get out of this type of environment. And I don't want to sound like a negative Nancy, but you're going through a training period in life where you are supposed to be learning how to not allow that to affect you. Now, I understand that's easier said than done, and I do not live in a fantasy world. I have people coming at me all day with their misery, trust me, and from the other side. But the thing is, you have to master the art of tuning that out. So it doesn't matter where you're working. You're going to have that. It doesn't matter how in charge of things you are. You're going to have that. It doesn't matter whether this is about work or this is about your private life or, this is about your health. It doesn't matter. You're always going to have that. And so, your work environment is something that you've chosen before you came to Earth to work into your life contract as a training ground. And you may have had difficulty with family too. You may feel overwhelmed by other people in your life in different circumstances where you don't know how to tune them out. You don't know how to stay in your lane. You don't know how to detach while still engaging on an appropriate level. And so I think that this job is going to be a bit like the last one. I think you're right in suspecting that. And I think that what you are supposed to be doing right now, and what you will do, I'm sure, is to take the next 3 months to come up with some skills that you're going to use to tune out whatever your triggers are. And I think this is a big problem for you, is that you go into all these different environments, whether it be work or it be social or it be out on the streets, and you don't know your triggers. Everybody has to know their own triggers. If you know these, then you know how to prevent them. If you can, you know how to decrease your level of exposure to them when you can. And when you are triggered or you're in the environment of the trigger, you know how to be prepared for it. Okay, you know how to combat it. I feel like you have no tools. I feel like you're going in this blind and you're basically just winging it. All right. Anytime you're winging anything like this, that you've been on the path over and over and over and over, you've experienced the same thing on repeat. I just put up a meme on this like an hour ago. Anything you're getting on repeat in life is saying to you, you need to master this skill. You need to figure out what to do about it. I think, though, that the difference at this job is that you have a boss who's a little bit more chilled out. You have a boss who has an attitude of like, it is what it is and really doesn't care. You have some people around you who aren't stressed and crazy and sort of adding to that frantic energy in the work environment. So that level of toxicity has dropped significantly, because when we have someone at the head who brings that tone, everyone under kind of has a way of complying with it, and mirroring it. So that's good. You did not have that in the past. I also think, though, that you're going to be in an environment with a female who is very high strung and who does have a way of bringing in toxicity. Some people have a way of every single time they open their mouth, it is problematic in some way. And you're going to have to learn how to be deaf to this person, or your stress level, even with these improvements, is going to tick, 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 tick up. Okay. And by the end of the day, you're drained, right? 20 minutes in the presence of this woman, you want to take a nap on the floor. So just be mindful of your triggers. Again, that's one of them for you. Negative people. Okay. All right. We're going to move on to another one. We have a question from a Susanna Cruz. This is $10. And she wants to know, hi, Ivy, I've been struggling with my workplace and feel like I need to find another career. Do I need to improve or move on to another career? So Susanna, does she need to just stay where she is and improve, or does she need to move on to something else? My feeling here is that you jumped from one thing into what you're currently doing, and the last 2 years has not been very fulfilling for you. So I think that it's seriously time to look at your life contract. Feel free to book that with me, or get an astrology chart, look at your work houses and things like this. But I think you need to seriously look at what you have a passion for doing. You seem to be taking whatever crumbs have fallen on the floor, whatever jobs have opened up, whatever offers medical or stability or that paycheck. I know, right? That's what we tend to do. However, that has nothing to do with your life contract. And up to this point, I don't really feel like you're fulfilling your life contract. It looks like you would have to derail significantly to get in alignment with what you're meant to do. And when we look at your life contract, it involves a lot of organization. It involves a lot of project planning. It involves a lot of leadership. And it involves a lot of you being like the Wizard of Oz behind the screen, sort of the mastermind with these projects. It almost reminds me of, a business where people come to you and they say, I want to host this event, or I want to launch this business, or, I want to create this thing, and you take it on as a project and you top to tail figure out how it needs to go. I think that there are a lot of different areas where you may want to help people with this. You have a lot of talent and skill in doing everything from home organization to interior design to, advertising and distribution to, marketing to whatever. You have a lot of different interests and you could do it. But eventually, I think after doing it for a while, you would narrow it down to 2 different areas. And when you sort of become an expert in those areas and realize that in those areas, you also have fire in the belly, you have a passion for those areas, that's going to read loud and clear to the world around you. And you also have an ability to build off of word of mouth. I'm literally jealous at what I'm looking at with you right now. It's hard to get me jealous. You have an ability to build an entire business off of word of mouth almost exclusively. I mean, just almost. Okay. So that's amazing. Sometimes, you work in a field where people are open to talking about it all the time. And it's just like wildfire, okay? Because they are willing to share that. They're happy to share that. And because you could find yourself working in an environment where you create a project or a design or an environment and other people come into that space and see it, all these other people witness it too. You know what I mean? People don't even have to say anything in praise of your work. They're going to see it, okay, firsthand. So I think there's a lot of room for you there. Time to move on. All right, so we are going to move on to the next question, and that is from a Bridget F. $10 question, and she wants to know, what do I need to focus on to increase financial abundance and clients for my business? And the business is Earth, Body, and Soul. For my business, Earth, Body, and Soul? Or is this just like, is that a title? Okay, so what do I need to focus on to increase? But again, if you guys could include names, and if you're putting in a name, like capitalize it and make it clear that it's, a name for something like this. All right, so what can she do to focus on increasing financial abundance and clients for her business for Bridget? First thing I think you need to do is get out on foot. And no one wants to hear it's time for boots on the ground, but join the club. You need to put boots on the ground. And part of you putting boots on the ground is not just talking with people, networking with people through the right kinds of environments. Some of them almost like vendors, fairs, or environments where you're, in bigger events where there are people who do something similar, but also way out of your range. So one of the best ways to grow is to go on the unbeaten path and to start communicating there. But the other aspect is really more online. So what I'm seeing for you is more social media. More social media in the sense of clips, specifically reels or 10-second clips. So if you're not doing anything with, I almost see like a product being taken out of a box. Doesn't sound very exciting, but why would somebody watch, right? I don't know, 13,000 times a piece of jewelry or a crystal or a stone or something being taken out of a box over and over, like 10-second reel. Okay, this could do wonders for you. They need to all be different. People love watching something that excites them. People love feeling engaged, and they're going to start connecting that directly back to you or directly back to your brand. And so it's almost a hypnotic, type of an experience you need to start using in your advertising technique. Get them to fall into the 10 seconds of watching you do this thing or take this object out of a casing or whatever it is. It's like, ta-da, okay, ta-da, over and over and over again. I think that the other thing you may want to start doing is some more kind of like putting boots on the ground, but it's more like getting the boots to come to you. I think you need to be hosting more events. So, if we're talking about a brick and mortar, we're talking about where people can actually come to you. We're talking about you hosting something, okay, where they can. If we're talking about online, we're going to want to find a way to create that sort of like what I'm doing right now, whether it be like lives or you're taking questions, or you're creating some type of a community space where people feel like they're interacting, okay, more. I think this will help a lot. All right, we are going to move on to, Susanna said, thank you. You're welcome, Susanna. All right, we have another one from Joanne Simon, a $10 question, and she wants to know, Can you give me a prediction on my career and money? All right. Any kind of prediction for Joanne on career and money? When I go over here with your work and money guide, the first thing I'm hearing is that you may be offered an opportunity within the next 4 months to grow. This opportunity does not necessarily feel like a promotion, like at your mainstream job, as much as this feels like someone who wants to partner with you or some type of a project that you could get involved in. I'm going to lean more heavily to the partnership side. But it could be both. Now, when this comes in, I think you're going to be figuring out what your role is. I think you want to know more about how you can stay in a power position. I think you want to know more about how you could sort of keep your master keys, so to speak. And that would be wise. That would be important in this. This level up is an opportunity for you to whet your palate and start to experience a new level of freedom and creativity. This level of freedom and creativity is going to help you to get more in alignment with your life contract, meaning doing more of what you're actually supposed to be doing in the upcoming year to a year and 8 months, very intensely for the next 7 months after that. So if you feel like you're making some crazy wild moves, if you feel like you're taking some risks, if you feel like you're stepping out in blind faith and doing something sort of unconventional from what you were doing before, but you feel passionate about it, that would be the path. That's the purpose to all of this happening first. I think that, the other thing it's supposed to be whetting your palate for is figuring out where you want to be investing your money. So say you were also for the next 3 years supposed to be looking at investment in passive income, right? You want to know about stocks. You want to know about maybe real estate. You want to maybe, do an Airbnb or flip, or, you want to figure out more of what you want to have how you want to have your money working for you on the side of all of this other work that you do. I think that is also an important area for you to be looking. And so that's career and that's side hustle. The other thing that I feel with you is some kind of a verbal opportunity coming in from behind you. Now that can be skeletons in the closet, stuff swept under the carpet, unfinished business, stuff put up on a shelf, collecting dust. When we have something behind you coming up again, it is likely that it needs to be resolved. It's from stuff you've been ignoring, or that it came up in the past and you didn't do anything with it. And now it's really time to re-examine and see whether or not you want to do this. This could even be something like a loan offer, some kind of opportunity to take a lump sum of money and invest it in something else, like a side hustle, your own business. But I see growth coming from that as well. All right. Good luck with all of that. It looks like a lot of growth potential for sure. I want to say too, just to Joanne, and this is also, to everybody, don't forget to be patient, because when you're dealing with money, you're dealing with I watch these videos of plants growing, and they put it on high speed, or mushrooms and things, and it just makes everything seem so fast. But if you were watching that outside your window every day, if you were watching the garden, it would be such a slow grow. You don't even know, you know what I'm saying? And it's you have to understand that your money, your resources, your career, sometimes these things are like that for a long, long time. Too many people jump ship because they don't get instant gratification. Society tells us it should be instant gratification. Why do you think we watch videos like these plants growing real quick? None of that's real. So allow things to develop. If you feel that it's right in your gut and you're still on the right path, even if you don't see the results today or even tomorrow, you have to trust and stay with it sometimes. Takes a minute. Okay, we're going to move on to another one here from... I see some people asking if they need to move over to YouTube. Yeah, move over to YouTube at Ask Ivy if you're having problems on any of the other platforms. All right, so we have one here from Aluda. This is a $10 question, and she wants to know, I have a lawsuit ending soon. I am wondering if I am manifesting or working on manifesting on the correct level. I'm envisioning the purchase of a home and farm so that I can bring friends together as we age and take care of my mother. Okay, I don't know if this is supposed to be two different questions or I have a lawsuit ending soon. I'm wondering if I'm manifesting or working on manifesting in the correct level. These are two different questions. Okay, are you manifesting? Yeah, but I think you need to let it go a little bit. Okay, so as far as the lawsuit is concerned, it's already in place. It's already in order. Sorry, guys, I'm like choking. There's like a lot of heat in this house, and there's a fan on me. I was in the car for like 6 days. This is the thing. You know, when you manifest, it's like saying a prayer. If you say a prayer, you are not to worry or you negate the prayer. All right. If you manifest something, you claim from the universe what it is that you are manifesting, you have to also release it. You can't keep going back to it again and again or worrying about it or checking up on it as though you're fearful that it may not happen. And I think this lawsuit's got you tripped up a little bit. I think that what you need to do is visualize maybe one more time, okay, exactly what it is. And you say to the universe, I'm releasing it because I know this is what's coming to me. As far as the home on the farm, let me take a look. A home and farm so that you can bring your friends together as we age. Okay, so little Golden Girls situation going on here. Golden Girls on the farm. I think you could, I think you could. I think it could end up being a little bit more overwhelming and at different points lonely because of who's there and who's not there. And sometimes not exactly what you had planned. But I do think that you're on the right path in wanting to do something like this where you can have a large enough space where people can come and go. And you would also be able to, here's something that's really important for you. I know you like this home idea, but you really belong out on the road. And so you're going to have to be free to be mobile. You're going to have to be willing to be mobile. And if you are trapped with a property that requires a lot of your time, attention, maintenance, especially with so many other people involved, you're going to want to be real careful about how you do that. But yes, I do think you're thinking in terms of the right way. I also think that you have to be realistic. A lot of people maybe that you plan on having around are going to have their own thing going on. The majority of the time things will be changing, but you will also be changing. So travel is going to be picking up for you significantly into older age. And I think the idea of almost like timeshares, Airbnbs, all of you guys being able to do this wherever you go is better than even just one location. So work on that networking more than the actual spot itself. All right, we are going to move on to another one. We hear from Dalen Marley. This is a $10 question. And Dalen wants to know, I need guidance for career. What am I supposed to be doing? Oh, my name is Linda Melendez. It wouldn't allow me to choose the $10 an option or something like that. Okay, so Linda Melendez wants to know, I need guidance for my career. What am I supposed to be doing? What is Linda Melendez supposed to be doing for career? This feels like, I heard dictatorship. I was going to say leadership. Take it how it resonates. I think that you're supposed to be in more of a position where you are telling people what to do, telling things where to go. I think that it's important you understand the value of your knowledge, wisdom, and experience. All of the tools and expertise that you have under your belt, okay, in addition to a fair amount of education in the traditional sense. This allows you to do sort of whatever you want to do. So if you wanted to do it self-employed, you wanted to do it as a business owner, you wanted to do it as an independent contractor, you wanted to do it in a higher up position under different companies where you don't have to run everything. Those are all options for you. But at the heart of everything that you're supposed to be doing, it's really important you focus on that leadership itself, being able to tell other people how to create something. And I think that part of the issue, let's say, that's going to be coming up over the next 2 years, that's going to cross your path directly over and over and over again, is going to be the reality that people in all lines of work are deteriorating. Customer service, deteriorating. Okay, I've never seen anything like this. It is remarkable how downhill things have gone in every area of business imaginable. I think that as we continue to sort of deteriorate, there's no value in the products being created or distributed. Someone like you is going to shine brighter and brighter, more and more, and it's going to put you in a unique position. Whereas in the past, especially the last 5 to 7 years, you weren't really appreciated for all that. You know, you were just another worker in the mine. Now you're going to be at the forefront. Okay. They're like, oh my God, look at what she could pull off. The value of good workers, the value of true leaders, the value of those with some character and integrity who show up, bring their A game, is going to become huge. The head becomes the tail becomes, you know, the head. So whatever I just said. And I think that what you're going to want to do is sort of, you know, grab. I think you want to grab at those opportunities, but I also think that you want to make it very clear that you know your value, you know your worth, and make sure that is showing up in those contracts. And if you decide to go off on your own, I think the other thing you're going to find is that you can not only have a lot of people who want to like partner with you or give assistance or, you know, network with you, but you get to hold on to those master keys the entire time. Okay. So you can sort of have your cake and eat it too. All right. So that's what I get with the Linda. Okay. Melendez. All right. Thank you. So we're going to move on to another question from Pam. This is a $10 question. And she wants to know, in my upcoming career, can you tell me which field you see me in? Is there potential advancement here? Okay, in my upcoming career, can you tell me which field you see me in? Is there potential advancement here? All right, so let's just look at what you're supposed to do, because there will always be advancement in whatever area you're supposed to be in. So as long as you're there, advancement is a given. If you're off base, advancement is like pulling teeth, okay, most of the time. So what is Pam supposed to be doing, okay, with her career? One of the things that you may find yourself doing, I even want to say like right now or within the last month, this seems to really be increasing, and we're going out about 7 to 9 months. What we're looking at here is a significant amount of maybe workload put on you, or new projects put on you, or stressors put on you. So where you are currently, it's almost like they're turning up the gas, like they're turning up the flame, they're turning up the fire. And so it reminds me of, you know, like, you know, cooking an egg, you know, and then it comes out like finished, it comes out cooked, it comes out firm, it comes out like, you know, stronger than it was. You could drop it and it's not going to be ruined after. You know, you're not fragile anymore. So you're going to be going through a little bit of a training ground. I think that this is a big opportunity for you to learn some new skills in focus and perseverance and boundary setting, learning how to say no to certain things, learning how to say, okay, but not now, learning how to say, this is how I prioritize, and I'm going to balance my life regardless of the pressures. You're being tested to see whether or not you can go through the fire and keep cool. And if you do this well, you're going to be coming out the other side with some unique opportunities at about a year to a year and 2 months. And from there, it feels like you could be dealing, I see more with finance. I see almost like banking. I have everybody around me talking in numbers. This may also be something from your past that's coming back as an opportunity for you to do again. So revisitation of some of the old work. You will also have more networking opportunities in communication. So if there was anything you wanted to do with communication, leadership, if you wanted to be able to go out and educate other people, if you wanted to do something more independently or be the voice for the company that you work for, or for that, you know, that particular field, the representative is the one who gets to set the tone, and the representative is a valuable player because not everybody can speak and you know, communicate in such a way where they're actually heard and received. Okay, so these are some benefits for you. Focus there, and you'll see more growth after that for the next 2 years. All All right, we have another question coming in here from $10 from Masubi, who I now know is Melissa. And she wants to know, hi, Ivy, any advice or predictions on my career and money? What am I supposed to be doing? Okay. Any advice or predictions for Melissa on career and money? I feel like you're supposed to be putting it away. So I just saw your work and money guide come in here and take the money out of your hands and put it in a closet, in a box, like in a safe. So you may be confronted for the next 6 to 7, maybe even into the 8th month, or it may quiet down and you think it's over, and then it resurrects its dirty little head, where people, maybe kids, maybe people in your community, maybe people in your inner circle, come and try to take your resources. They come and try to ask you for help. Now, I'm not saying don't help people, okay? But there has to be a boundary on how much you do this. You are not a bottomless pit of resources. And people who are siphoning off of you, I don't care even if it is your kids, if they're getting old enough where they should be going and getting that for themselves, then that's exactly what they need to be doing. I think this may also be other things like, say in your house, nobody bothers to contribute to the chores. You know, nobody bothers to turn the lights off. Everybody's always wasting energy. Everybody's always, you know, just thinking that you're like this cash cow. I think that you're going to need to get really strict, and you're going to need to tighten up, and you need to take your resources and you need to start putting fairly good amounts, you know, of it away. Now, I know sometimes that can be easier said than done, especially if we're living hand to mouth, or, you know, it's the rare few that can create a savings. I understand that. However, you know, through cutting back in some of these other areas, like the suggestions that were mentioned, you could see an accumulation there that you wouldn't have missed anyway. You wouldn't, you know, it was all going down the toilet regardless. So you start taking maybe that, okay, in addition, and putting that away. I see 4. This could mean 4,000. This could mean money coming from 4 different areas, but you putting these 4 stacks of cash, right, in this savings is going to allow for you to have a bigger level up with something that looks very much to me like residency change at about the end of the year. Okay, so I think that's where you need to be focusing for a while, and just making sure that you're thinking in the long run for you. You know, it's great to be a parent. It's great to be a spouse. You know, it's important that no matter what we're doing in community with others in life, we learn eventually to think, I am my own resource and what I do is mine. Make sure you have a peace, okay, for yourself, and that you know no matter what, you will be okay. And everybody else needs to start learning how to stand on their own 2 feet, okay, in order for that to sort of karmically work out for you as well. Okay, we're going to move forward with another question here from a Janice. This is a $5 question. And she wants to know, what is the best way I can make my earring business prosperous? Your earring business. So when I go over here with the earrings, what I'm feeling is that they're connected to a couple other things. Looks like they could be connected to bracelets. It also looks like they could be connected to necklaces, like longer necklaces, and possibly even feathers of some kind. This could also be connected to other things that you're making, whether it be like blankets or it be outfits, maybe like knitting or crocheting or sewing of some kind. There are different clients, right? There are different contracts that you may get in. There are different purchases that will be made that start to show demand. And I almost want to say that for the next year, 9 months to a year, what you're supposed to be doing is, you know, just throwing anything at the wall and seeing what sticks. It's like you're just experimenting, you know, you're just saying like, here, it are all the options, you know, what are you guys into? And when you start to see patterns, you understand that people are not only interested in purchasing that thing, but you want to start focusing on what else could this be? What are other variations of this thing? What is it about this thing that they're actually attracted to? How it makes them feel, how it makes them look, the colors, the size, what is it connected to? And I think you need to start asking more seriously those types of questions, because it seems that for a while you've just been coming up with anything, like in sort of a generic way. It's not based on demand. All right. So once you move from creating a smorgasbord of different options, you start narrowing it down per demand. Okay. You are going to see drastic increase within about 7 months to a year's time. And I think that you have 3 significant contracts coming up with, clients or buyers that are going to see you through the rest of the way. We have another question here. Melissa says, thank you. You're welcome. Melissa. Okay, we are at time. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in for Get a Grip on Your Money, Career, and Investments. I will be back with this show in 2 weeks, but I will be back next Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, for my bi-weekly Ask Ivy show, where I take your personal questions and I deliver out messages from Spirit. If you need to book a reading with me in the meantime, go to Ivy Rivera, psychicmedium.com. See you guys soon. Thanks so much. Thank you, Mary.